Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Manic Monday edition of The Rundown, the post Turkey Day Manic Monday edition of The Rundown. And I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
No, I try to help whenever I can. My name is Mike Poworski. I am coming to you live from the East Coast, the coast with the most. I am your co-host for today. Thank you for having me, Craig.
Oh, and now, Mike, we all know that you do more. You do more than just what you can.
You just minimally though, minimally.
just minimally, just minimally. No,
just a wee
don't
bit.
sell yourself
Just a wee
short, sir.
bit.
Don't sell yourself
Just a wee
short.
bit.
One bit.
Look, I'm still dressed from regular work, so I take off all my accoutrements.
Got to wear them lanyards.
Yes, it's a lanyard kind of job. That
So,
way.
sir, how was the Turkey Day?
Wonderful. It was. We did some travel, had some great turkey. It's always great when you don't have to clean it up for days and days afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference, the only problem is, no leftovers, right? So I actually went and got the Cracker Barrel like turkey dinner for 4 to go and put it in the fridge, so we'd have that for leftovers for the rest of the week.
Nice. What's one of the things I will tell you is that's the key to a successful Thanksgiving dinner isn't just that there's good food and the food tastes good and you have fun, but the other thing has got to be not having too many leftovers.
Well, you don't want too many leftovers because you send people home with leftovers, but you've got to have 2 to 3 days worth of leftovers. You don't want leftovers you're going to have to throw away because you didn't get to eat them. You want leftovers, enough for 2-3 days. A little snack, a little manja here, a little bit of bite there. That's what you want.
Well, exactly. See, so like for example, we do a turkey and a ham. And
Yes.
So, the next day we'll do, like, for example, we did turkey soup the next day.
Yeah.
The day after that, we had sliced ham sandwiches. Then the day after that, it was either a question of either turkey, either turkey omelets or ham omelets. But after that, we were pretty much about done.
Yeah. See, we don't drop the turkey into a stew or a soup or anything like that until we realize, all right, if we don't finish it today, it's going to turn. So that's when we repurpose it. Otherwise, we just continue to eat it in its natural. We eat it in its natural Thanksgiving state.
Very nice. Excellent choice. So, but overall, how was your weekend, which actually started on Tuesday?
It was great. I got a lot of stuff done. I've got going to be, I don't know if I'm going to do it here or if I'm going to write about it, but I've got some interesting TSA follies that I want to talk about and expose. But for
those of
you know how I love the TSA.
For those of you who have not watched the show or haven't listened to Arms Room Radio, Mike's tales of dumbfounding the TSA are epic. They are 100% epic and definitely worth listening to. So yeah, one day we're going to have to do a show where you just talk about those.
Yeah. Well, TSA, they showed how great they were again this weekend. So
they showed how great they were. That sounds like a bit sarcastic.
Yeah. Well, they are the security appearance. That's what TSA stands for. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, dude, for me, man, it was really kind of chill and casual.
Good. What was the weather like there in Northern California during Thanksgiving? I'm curious.
Oh, you know what? It depends. Sometimes it's a little cool, which, I know you get this. Cool weather for us is not cool weather for most of the country, right?
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
But it almost always is sunny, brown and yellow and orange leaves all over the place. Getting up, watching a little football. Well, let me clarify. You put the Lions on in the background because nobody actually watches the Lions play football because, well, actually, do they play football or do they appear in football uniforms? Anyway.
So right. Not since Barry Sanders left. Right. Not since Barry Sanders left if they played football.
Exactly. Not since Barry Sanders left if they actually played football. There's that. Obviously, that we have the Cowboy game. Got to watch the Cowboy game. And then we do dinner. And then, dinner is usually like, I don't know, I'll say early. It's usually we do it about 3 or 4 o'clock. And then The rest of the day is dessert and well, adult spirits.
That's right. Adults sitting around praying together. It's adult spirits, is what you have. Yes.
Right.
Um, that's very good. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. It
what
gets
we'll
to
call it.
60 around here over the winter, Craig. 60 around here in the holidays for the winter.
Yeah.
And people are acting like there's ice on the damn roads. It's ridiculous.
I
It's
know.
just,
It's like people. It's like when it as soon as it rains or if there's ice, it's like you guys have been through this. Why is it
yeah.
so hard for you to figure out?
Yeah.
In
Now
fact,
they
you
like,
go through it every year.
no, I mean, as soon as a windbreaker comes out, you're looking for people. The people are looking for the National Guard.
Yeah.
It's 60. Call out the National Guard. Yeah.
Well, hey, the one of the big issues though with it was there was no shortage of news and times I was like, man, we should probably do a show. But,
Oh boy, here we go.
But yeah, we
Yep,
took
yep.
the time off. So, but anyway, with that, let's go ahead and let's get into today's program. All right. So we're going to start off with our first story. Now, our first story comes from, well, it comes from Fox, but it's about CNN. All right. And here's the deal, folks. CNN, you guys know, well, if you recall from last week, there was an incident that took place. I don't call it an incident. It was actually a massacre that took place in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Did I pronounce that right, Mike?
As far as I know, you did.
As far as you know, I did. Good. So it took place in Waukesha. And as it turns out, an individual who is a multiple time criminal decided that he was going to drive his car into a parade, killing now, as we know it, 6 people, as the 6th person has now died from it. So CNN decided that they were going to describe this incident as a vehicle. And I wanted you guys to see this. So here's how they describe it. They describe it as, well, let me move this over a little bit. Okay. I'll bring it back out. So they describe it as Waukesha will hold a moment of silence today, marking the one week since a car drove through the city Christmas parade, killing 6 and injuring scores of others. Now, they've been taking a lot of grief, Mike, because they basically, now correct me if I'm wrong, but does this not sound like they are basically saying that, yeah, this car did it all by itself?
Listen, Craig, I think I'm actually going to give them a little hats off here for consistency. Every time there's a crime with a firearm, it's always the gun's fault. They always say the gun did it, the gun did it. And you and I make the argument, well, if a car crashes into a crowd, it's not the car's fault, is it? Well, CNN evidently has finally made the turn, and now they're blaming the car for the 6 people being dead.
Wow. Okay. But wow, that's okay, dude. That's an excellent point. I did not think about that, but you are 100% correct. They are doing exactly what they always do. Okay. But now here's the other question. Are they going to lament that there is not legislation being introduced to ban the use of cars near parades?
Well, this was an SUV, Craig, from everything that I've seen about this article. So that makes it, it must be an assault vehicle, because there's no reason for people that drive normal streets to have this military style vehicle. That you don't need a vehicle this big and this immense to drive up and down our roadways. This is clearly an assault vehicle, and we should hopefully see assault vehicle legislation being introduced in Wisconsin soon, because we shouldn't allow these vehicles to be roaming the streets.
Mike, you missed one very, very important point. It is fueled by evil fossil fuel.
Oh. Now, is that, do you still have to plug that in at night, Craig, or is that something you get at the pump?
Oh, not this particular one. This particular one is fueled by fossil fuel. So no, you don't even get to plug this one in.
Okay. All right. I didn't know where the evil pumps were. I didn't know where they were.
No, they're at the gas station with the evil oil companies.
Evil oil companies. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, Craig, I think it's just, I find it fitting that they finally decided to, come full circle on this. How many years have we badgered them over the gun didn't do it? The individual did it. Well, they finally said, well, I guess the vehicle's doing it.
What? It's funny because, like, once again, Fox points out, and several other entities are pointing out how crazy what they're talking about sounds. But then you make the point that, they're being consistent. They're blaming the car.
They are being consistent. Now, it's funny, this story in one way. Listen, the deaths of the six, and this last one, the number six,
Yes.
was a young child that finally succumbed to their injuries. But none of that is funny at all. And obviously, we're making fun of the news provider here, if you can call it news at all. But if anybody's familiar with the Babylon Bee, they are a satire organization. And I think it was about 2 days before this came out, Craig, they made the joke that the car did it. And that we had to get assault vehicle legislation on the books. So I mean, once again, the tail wagging the dog, right?
Yeah, I wonder if this is copyright infringement.
Yeah, that's the only way they're going to learn. By the way, so, once again, we have what is it? Fiction becoming reality.
Exact. That is how you know. That's how you know how the world has actually become.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move right along, shall we? Kyle Rittenhouse. He is going to be in the news for a while, folks. If for no other reason than the fact that he has been branded a murdering white supremacist who's a member of a militia. We all know that this is the case because CNN, President Biden has said so. And because they have said so, you have student groups at ASU, Arizona State University, where he currently attends online.
Yeah.
They are trying to make it, though, so that he basically will get kicked out of school. The student groups there want him expelled from Arizona State University because he was found innocent.
Exactly right. I want to make sure we get you some of the names of some of these ridiculous organizations here. The Arizona State University Students for Socialism. So that's the ASUSSS, I think.
You mean ass?
The ASUSS.
ASUS. So the asses. Okay,
the asses
got it.
The asses, yes.
The asses.
Ass us. This is actually the ass us, is what it is. Ass us. We have the Students for Justice in Palestine. Notice how they said justice in Palestine, not peace in Palestine. Multicultural Solidarity Coalition. I don't even know if they know what that means. And then we have Mecca de Asu, which Mecca, MECHA, must be an acronym for something, but they write it like it's a Spanish word.
Mecha.
And they're all calling on the Arizona State Administration to take action against Rittenhouse by withdrawing him from the university and releasing a statement against him. Now, first off, Craig, we can't even get the words right. We demand you withdraw him. What? Withdraw? No. You see, the student would withdraw.
Right.
The college would expel. Or remove his.
It's not
his
like these are
status,
college students, okay?
Yeah. They're too busy coming up with acronyms. The acronyms that they have here, the names of these programs, remind me of like the American Dodgeball Association of America. That's it's just, one's like the Department of Redundancy Department.
The
things
Department
like that.
of Redundancy.
So
Department 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's it. The Department of Redundancy Department. They have to go. All right. Perhaps there should be some other student unions coming up that say, perhaps maybe like the ACLU, because the ACLU always finds them in a very particular spot when it comes to things like this, because they realize that Mr. Rittenhouse is not guilty, and he has every right himself to be there at this university, even if it is online. They should go after these organizations for trying to oppress students, for trying to seek an education, for students that exercise the rights guaranteed them under the Constitution. If you wish to have Mr. Rittenhouse taken away for having exercised self-defense, due process, his Second Amendment rights, then we should take away all these other student organizations, because we don't like them either. Because if all we need is a couple of whiny brats to say, I don't like it, we'll take it away, well, then that's what the school should be doing against those organizations that are trying to suppress and get him to, excommunicated from college here.
Right. And that's the thing that these folks, they don't even understand or even recognize the hypocrisy of everything they say and everything that they do, because that's exactly what it is, folks. It is hypocrisy. They want to be given the benefit of the doubt for every position that they take and everything that they do. They would, if they were to go to court, they would want to be considered innocent until proven guilty. But they don't want that of people that they deem to be evil and their enemy. Now, mind you, the only reason that someone is ever deemed evil is because, well, they disagree with them. So because they disagree with them, because they don't like their politics, whatever the reason may be, they are now officially evil. And because they are evil, well, they don't get the very same rights that everybody else gets. And that's just the way it is.
These groups want and demand that the university reaffirm support for the multicultural center on campus as a safe space from white supremacy.
Because there are white supremacists who are going and hanging out at the multicultural center?
That would appear to be such. They also making demands that they want the administration to redirect funding from the police department to the multicultural center, and they're demanding that they establishment of a care center on campus also. So they need a place to go cry because there's a kid somewhere in the country who's taking an online course that they'll never have to see or know about, but they can't deal with that. What they need is a little bit of our next topic to hear from the guy on our next topic about thick skin.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's most definitely get into talking about our next topic, Mr. Dave Chappelle. Folks, you guys have heard the story. We've talked about it. I don't know how many different times. Dave Chappelle, comedian, does a special called The Closer. One of several where he has made a number of jokes about, well, first of all, he jokes about everybody. He makes fun of everybody, black, white, Republican, Democrat, male, female, rich, poor, black, white, Latino, and he also makes fun of LGBTQQII, LMNOP.
LMNOP. Yep.
He makes fun of all of them, right? He makes fun of everybody. Yep. Well, because they don't like the fact that he made fun of specifically members of the transgendered community, he has been labeled as transphobic. His special has been labeled as transphobic. And now, a bunch of people want to, they want to cancel him. And, their efforts have failed miserably because guess what? More people are watching his special than ever before. More people are going to his shows than ever before because they're like, man, this is stupid. So, they can't cancel him because his audience isn't letting him be canceled. Well, there's a high school, it's the Duke Ellington School of Performing Arts there in, I forget where it's at. I think is it in New York? Or
it's in DC. I believe it's in DC. And I believe it's Dave's high school.
Yes, it's high school. Yes. So anyway, they were going to name a theater after. And, when all of this came out, a few students, and I will say a handful of students, said, no, we don't want it named after him because he's transphobic, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, well, at first he's like, well, why do he's like, look, you're going to take away this thing that I didn't even really want to do? Fine. But then he's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to allow you to cancel me. I was asked if I would accept the honor, and I will accept the honor unless the critics, my critics, this is Dave Chappelle saying his critics, unless they are willing to donate more money than his supporters are. So what he's saying in order to donate money to the school and to the theater. So what he's saying is donate money to the school. If you hate me, tell them you hate me. If you love me, tell them you love me. And hey, if your folks give more than mine, then I will, you can name it after somebody else, but otherwise, name it after me. Now, I have to say, whoever came up with that is a master marketer.
Well, I'll bet you it was probably Dave, or he was involved in that decision.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the actual quote. He says, if by April, those against the Chappelle Theater exceed the donations of those who are neutral or in favor of the theater named Chappelle, I will gladly step aside. If not, I will happily attend the naming ceremony. And if you don't care enough to donate, please shut the F up forever. Signed, Dave. Craig, you and I say it all the time. If you have a disagreement with somebody, vote with your wallet. Take your wallet out. There's a huge amount of voting you can do with your wallet. You know what? I disapprove of what you do. I'm going to take my wallet elsewhere. And I'm going to let it be known I took my wallet elsewhere and take all my friends with me. Dave just told them, pay up or shut up. All right?
Right. Here's the question. Did he say, shut the F up? You don't have to give the full quote, but
It's it in here. Listen, and I don't know if it's censoring in the news article
Okay.
or not, but it has F asterisk 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 up.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
don't know where the censoring occurred. So
Nice. Nice.
yeah,
Well, but and isn't that really though the point? Is that everybody? You know, one of the problems with social media is it's given everyone a platform to have an opinion. And here's the problem, folks. Yeah, I get it. Everyone has an opinion. And you know what? Some of you don't deserve to be, I don't want to say don't deserve to have your opinion out there publicly, but some of you do not do yourselves any justice. You don't help yourself by expressing yourself publicly because your opinions oftentimes are, they reveal your own bias, they reveal your own ignorance and your own stupidity. Sometimes it's better to be, what's that saying? Sometimes it's better to be silent and be thoughtful than to speak out and remove all doubt.
exactly right, exactly right. You know, I have a friend of mine. He's a friend of ours. He's a big time celebrity in the media business, and he tells me all the time. He goes, I don't read tweets. I don't look at them. I don't care. They mean nothing to me. And when I see that somebody else is using a tweet and they're quoting a tweet, if it doesn't start at least 20,000 followers, I give it zero credit whatsoever. Because every once in a while, somebody's able to write a really good tweet, but if they got 3 followers, who cares? Okay. If you don't have a 20,000 next to your name when you're following or when you're tweeting, you're really not important. And I think that's kind of what Dave just said. Either put up or shut up. You either have a word or you don't. And like he says, the school, by the way, like you said, Craig, I'm sorry. There was maybe 5 or 10 people that complained. The rest of the school was like, no, we're not with them. We're not with them.
We're not with them.
Those are the kids that sit in the corner and paint their fingernails black. We're not with them.
But
for
those of you out there who consider yourselves to be the silent majority, let me just be real with you. If you want to know why so many screwed up things are happening and why people are getting away with stuff like this, it's because you're being silent. It's because when they say something, you don't step up and say, shut the F up. You're being stupid.
Oh yeah, I got a story for you this week about somebody who didn't want to stand and even give honor or let others give honor to the national anthem being played this weekend. I was not the silent majority. I was the vocal majority.
You were the vocal majority?
I was the vocal majority.
Okay. Are we gonna
we could save it for next show. We could save it for tomorrow, folks. A little teaser. There you go.
All right, there you go.
Yep.
Mike's stand your a-hole up.
That's it. Yep.
All right, moving right along. All right, so now this is one that Mike sent over to me, and it had to do with Ahmaud Arbery, and I just found it kind of interesting because they're trying to make it out to be a racist thing. And that was basically that you had during the closing arguments of the Ahmaud Arbery trial, the prosecuting attorney, or the defense attorney, one of the defense attorneys, decided that when she was defending, or she was going to she's doing the best she can to try and make Ahmaud Arbery not look like an unsympathetic figure, and she had I don't even know what to call it, to mention his quote, to wearing his shoes with his quote unquote dirty toenails. And that just hit the mainstream media as, oh, look at this racist talking about his dirty toenails. Now,
Craig, listen, and unless I missed a stereotype somewhere, are black people supposed to have dirty toenails? I don't recall that ever being something I've ever heard of before. I know there's all the the typical stuff that you hear about, but I've never heard the toenail one. And I believe what the prosecutor was trying to relay was that Arbery. Now, listen, again, he's the 3 people of individual have been found guilty of some level of murder of Ahmaud Arbery. The self-defense claim did not hold water. So the case has since ended. But this was a point where I was like, why are we trying to put the racism part into this? Is that a fact in this case? Well, I don't know. I wasn't in the jury pool. I can't tell you that. I'm not gonna try and take a guess at it either. But why would you bring that up? I think that, again, the prosecutor's point was this person, Ahmaud Arbery, was running down the street and they were running in sandals. If this was a jogger out jogging, why would they be in sandals? Joggers don't jog in sandals. And he was trying to say they were out in sandals. And here's what my inference that I got from this was, did not intend to be running, started running in sandals, whether they were doing something wrong, or here's where it may have backfired, or they were being chased, but that the toenails were dirty because they were in sandals and not running shoes. I think that's the point the prosecutor was trying to make. I didn't take that as racist one bit until I saw it later in the day, and I thought, did I miss a stereotype? Is honestly what I thought.
Honestly, I guess here's the thing. In a trial where you are doing your best to try and not make, because basically they're being accused of hunting down and killing. Basically, you got 3 white men being accused of hunting down and shooting or killing a white man. That's what they're on. I'm a black man. That's what they're on trial for, okay. Right? I
was like, wait, which trial are we talking about?
That's what they're. I'm sorry, wrong trial. But that's what they're accused of. And yes. You just want to be very careful that you, as their lawyer, don't do something that is going to add fuel to the fire. And while I know of no stereotype that specifically speaks to black people having dirty toenails, but I will say that it was a horrible look. It was a stupid thing to say. One of many stupid things that their defense actually said. It was stupid. Horrible. It's like, you know how in the other case, in the Rittenhouse case, we said with prosecutors like this, who needs defense attorneys? Well, in a case like this, with defense attorneys like this, who needs a prosecutor?
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
It was dumb. It was beyond
Craig, I think that point is much easily more made, saying something like, because the dirty toenail part to me, it didn't seem racist, but it seemed like maybe low class, the way they said it.
Right.
I would have said something like, how many joggers do you know that jog with sandals on? That's what I would have said. There's not a lot of sandal jogging going on.
I will tell you the exact same thing that I've said, and I've said this to many people, and I keep wanting to put out a blog post on. But here's the thing, man. Looking at the 2 trials, I definitely believe justice was done. Number one, right. I believe that in one case it was clear case of self-defense, in another they not only did they not prove self-defense, but in many cases they hurt their own arguments for self-defense. But also the other thing that first of all, race was not a factor in either one of these. But I also want to be real clear. Kyle Rittenhouse is innocent, but he is not a hero. Ahmaud Arbery was innocent, but he was not. Let me put it this way: he was a victim, but he was not an innocent. If that makes sense. I just think that we've tried to, on both sides, people have tried to both demonize and canonize these 2 individuals, both of which, in my opinion, probably would have been wise. One can question whether or not it was wise for them to be where they were. Nonetheless, that did not take away their fundamental right to be where they were and to not be chased down and attacked.
Let me say this.
Oh, if I can say this one last thing.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And this is something that all of us need to know. Yeah. By the way, they just this one point. One was prepared, the other one wasn't. The one that was prepared is alive, and the one that wasn't isn't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. No, was it wise for Kyle Rittenhouse to be where he was? That's a judgment call based on your own morals, ethics, and values.
Right.
Whether you think he should have been there or not. Ahmaud Arbery. If Ahmaud Arbery was alive, he would have been arrested for trespassing and burglary. Let's be clear on that. Okay.
Right.
Now
which
he was
which, by the way, I say he is not an innocent.
Right. You said that. Exactly right. And I'm just trying to take it a step further. He would have been arrested for trespassing and burglary. The police were looking for him. What you have was now through the court system, 3 men that tried to apprehend him went too far. to the point where deadly force was used, and now they're in prison for it. Does that mean he was not a burglar and a trespasser? Absolutely not. It just means these 3 people used too much force to attempt to apprehend him.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And this is one of the other point is, this is the reason why it's important, in particular, if you're going to be a gun owner, you need to be taking classes. You need to be training. You need to have an understanding of use of force, and how that law is applicable in your particular and wherever it is that you live, or wherever. Let me clarify: wherever it is that you are going to possess a gun, you need to know those things. If you don't take the time to know those things, you put yourself at risk.
Yeah, know it well. Listen, and Georgia's a great place to own a gun, and if you happen to use your firearm in self-defense there, you're going to be all right in Georgia as long as you do things legally. The law is really on your side in Georgia. You just can't do something stupid like, 3 guys jump a guy, one film it and pull a shotgun and pull it and shoot it in the guy's chest. Well, you can't call it self-defense when you chase him down.
No,
Now, you can. Hold on, let me be clear on that. You can, if they had gone towards him and then the guy attempted to take the shotgun from him, that's a whole different argument, right? I mean, at least changes it a little bit. Does that make him guilty versus not guilty? I have no idea. But I don't want to give an absolute, is all I'm saying.
Right.
But for the most part, it's better they call it stand your ground because it's better to stand your ground and have somebody try and force you out of where you're legally allowed to be, as opposed to acting as an agent of the government and trying to trap somebody and whatever happened. We all saw the testimony. Here's the deal. Those guys are guilty. And if Aubrey was alive, he'd also be in jail.
Yeah. That is 100% true. Hopefully though, while he was in jail, he would no longer have dirty toenails.
Well, you give them showers there, and they get the good shoes. They get the jail slides.
Showers. There's no reason to have dirty toenails in prison.
I love.
Are they allowed? Do they get toenail clippers?
Yeah, but weapons? Not the kind with the little file, because you could make that a shank or a shiv. But
okay.
But you just get the clipper part,
Okay. I hear you. All right. Well, let's move on to today's parting shot. You guys will love this one. Now, oh God, I'm trying to think of the best way to kind of lay this one out. We all know that CNN is real good for using anonymous. It was known for using anonymous. The left-wing media never uses sources that actually reveal themselves, right? Because that way they can fuel whatever narrative they want. But in this case, I will back CNN's use of an anonymous source, because I think this particular source explains so much in the way of what is going on currently in the Biden White House. And I think Mike will agree with me. This particular individual has come out. It says, White House whistleblower claims strangers drag him from place to place and make him sign papers and read words on monitors, and he hardly gets any ice cream.
Craig, It just shows if you treat people right, you don't have to worry about whistleblowers. If they had given this poor old man more ice cream, they'd still be dragging him around from place to place, making him read things and sign papers, and he wouldn't care. But you just didn't give him enough ice cream.
But the problem is they don't want to give him too much ice cream because he might shit himself again.
That's it.
Do we know who this whistleblower is? I love how good they are at covering up who their whistleblowers are.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell who he is. If I had smell-o-vision, I bet I could figure out who it was.
I wonder, is that Jen Psaki? Maybe.
Oh no, I'd know if it was Jen Psaki.
You know if it was Jen Psaki.
She's so bad. She needs punishing.
Oh, hey Roy, thanks for tuning in, man. I see your comment there. He says, ignorance of the law will not keep you out of jail. No, definitely. Exactly right. Ignorance of the law will not keep you out of jail.
Exactly right.
Knowing the law and applying it to your decision-making most definitely will go a long way in keeping you out of jail, just so you know. Yeah. All right, Mikey. Hey, why don't you go ahead and give a shout-out to our sponsors.
Hey, say hello to our good friends from Guerrilla Machining, Grid Defense, and the California Republican Assembly. All great heroes, all great sponsors. We love them. Make sure you reach out and let them know your support, either through purchasing some fine products from Guerrilla Machining and Grid Defense, or making a nice donation to the California Republican Assembly there as well.
Yes, folks, please become a member of the California Republican Assembly. If you live in California, get this, there are more Republicans than any other state in the country, and there are also more conservatives than any other state in the country, but we need your help. Help us. Help by becoming a member of the Republican wing of the Republican Party in California. I'm digging your sign, sharing, and subscribing, and encouraging your friends to do the same, and we will see you tomorrow on Taco Tuesday.
Who loves you, baby?